All right, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm here with two amazing gals. My name is Lolly Daskal, and I'm a leadership coach, and I've been in my business for 30 years, but meeting these two women have changed my life. And so I'm here today to introduce you to the most amazing two women. I don't know them for very long, but I think I know you guys now for almost a year and a half or so. And ever since I've met them, the words amazing, wonderful, talented, inspiring comes up when I talk about these women. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to, first there's Jamie Broderick. She's a visibility strategist who helps entrepreneurs become market leaders by building their platform, leveraging her connections and shining the light on their unique talents. Her endless creativity and knowledge has gifted her the uncanny ability to connect people for just the right advice. She leads a business support network that she founded 10 years ago called the Success Connection. She provides market leadership training in her course, and it's called Above the Crowd. And she hosts 2 annual confidence building retreats in Florida and in New York City. Along with co-producing the most important part, TEDxLincolnSquare in New York City. Jamie, you are an amazing, amazing woman. And in the short time that I know you, again, wonderful, talented, inspiring, and a true connector. Then we have Tricia Brouk. Tricia works in the entertainment industry, but her addition to that, she applies her expertise as a director and a writer for film, television, and theater to the art of big talks and keynotes. She's the executive producer of TEDxLincolnSquare, that's how I've met her, and she has worked on The Black Box on ABC, The Affair on Showtime, Rescue Me on Fox, and received a Golden Thumb Award from Roger Ebert for her work on John Turturro's Romance and Cigarettes. We should work closely with Jamie Galifianakis and Kate Winslet. One day she'll have to tell us all about that. The series she directed, Sublets, won Best Comedy at the Vancouver Web Festival. She's written 2 musicals, a play, a sitcom pilot, and has directed 3 short documentaries, one featuring her co-producer, that wonderful Jamie Broderick. You can listen to Tricia's podcast, The Big Talk, on iTunes, where she interviews people who talk for a living. As I said, these 2 women are amazing women, and I have the privilege today to interview them. Guys, I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Thank you so much, Lolly, for those incredible introductions and for spending some time with us. I'm super excited to share about looking beyond TEDxLincolnSquare.
So let's start, because we don't have that much time and we have so much to cover. So how did you come up with the theme, Looking Beyond?
I was actually at TEDfest in April of this year. It was 2 weeks after the event that Jamie and I first produced. Our very first TEDx production was this last March, and the theme was called Risk Takers and Changemakers. So I knew that I wanted our second event to be even bigger, even more important, even more epic. And I went to TEDfest, which was 500 TEDx organizers, all in New York City at this amazing event. And I just started talking to people about what their events were called and why they themed their events. And many people don't theme their events, but it's important to Jamie and I that we do. And I started thinking, what's bigger than last year and what's bigger than us? And the Looking Beyond theme had so much meaning for me because we all get stuck with what's right in front of us, and those literal blocks happen for everyone. But I also believe that what's happening in the world right now is blocking us. And if we can find a way to look beyond what's right in front of us as human beings, as a community, and to look beyond the pain that the world is in right now, we can get through it. We can get to the other side. So that's why we came up with the theme Looking Beyond for this year's event.
That's wonderful. Would you like to add something to that?
It's just such a powerful theme because we pride ourselves in having a very diverse lineup of speakers, but the topics themselves are so diverse. And looking beyond opens us up to so many different subjects.
It is.
Yeah, I wanted it to be looking beyond space, looking beyond the ocean floor, looking beyond gender, looking beyond spirituality, looking beyond sexuality. I wanted our audience to walk into this event and leave with a completely new way of seeing their lives.
Fantastic. So what makes this year at TEDx different than last year?
Last year was pretty incredible. So we had to shoot even higher so that it's better and better and better. Our TEDx is different than most because it blends New York City entertainment with TEDx talks. So that alone is incredible. But this one will be different because of the theme, because of the lineup. It's always a high level of speakers. But we'll also have a bigger audience this year, right, Tricia?
Yes, which is incredible because Jamie was able to sell us out 6 weeks before the event last year. So having a bigger audience is even more incredible. I think also something that's different from last year is, first of all, we have done this now. Jamie and I know how to produce a TEDx event. I know how to produce theater, but there's very specific rules one must follow as an organizer for the TEDx brand. So now that we've done this, there's a shorthand. We know how to communicate with each other. We know how to communicate with our team. We know how to communicate with our speakers. So it's frankly a little easier this year, and I can really focus now on the entertainment portion of it. Who I'm going to bring in to entertain us? Who am I going to bring in to host? Who am I going to bring in to make sure that the theme of the event is complete and cohesive so that our speakers feel taken care of and so that our audience feels taken care of?
So you just mentioned the speakers. What was the process that you took to choosing the speakers?
I love this question, Lolly. The process is an online application that Jamie and I put together, and it's very specific. And yes, I will be honest in saying it's meant to trick people. I really make it a hard application because I want to weed out people who don't understand the difference between a TEDx, a TED, or a keynote, or a pitch. So it's a very specific application process that I put together based on Chris Anderson's world of TED. So from there, we get applications, and Jamie and I read every single word of every single application. That is very important to us and very important to me because I've been on the other side of the table my whole life, auditioning and pitching. And so I want to give the speakers and the applicants the respect they deserve by reading every single word. So once we go through the applications, the written applications, then we have callbacks. And the second round is really a callback for us to see the speaker on camera, to see who they are as a presenter, what their delivery skills are, and that really helps us then narrow it down to the final selection. I also love when people email me directly. This isn't something that I broadcast, but if a speaker emails me and says I really need help with my online application or with my video application, I will give them help for free because I want them to win. I want them to succeed. Mm-hmm. And I've gone back and forth with several of the speakers who applied. Many of them we ended up not choosing, and we also said, please keep trying for next year because you're close. And many of them ended up being chosen. So that's something that I find very important is direct contact with us is something we offer.
That's fantastic. What do you want your audience to walk away with?
Jamie?
I would say acceptance, thinking differently about how other people are living, about new ideas. It can't help but make the world a better place, right? If everybody is more open to new ideas, new thoughts, new beliefs.
Right. Well, that's the TEDx, right? TEDx about spreading new ideas and looking beyond is such a large message. I cannot help but get excited about what is going to be talked about. So what do you want your speakers to come away with?
I want our speakers to feel an incredible sense of community, safety, and support. Taking a TEDx stage can catapult a speaker's career. We have an incredible lineup of speakers this year, many of which have massive careers already. But when you take a TEDx stage and you become crowned a TEDx speaker, it gives you something really special and really unique within this speaking community. So I want them to feel safe, I want them to feel supported, and I want them to know they are a community. It's not just about each speaker individually. That's really important for us.
That sounds amazing. As I said in the very beginning, two very amazing individuals doing amazing things. And this is very different. I've spoken to many TEDx speakers who work at events and who are at events, and you really personalize what you do and how you do it. You're one of a kind. So why do you produce an event like this? What's the why?
Well, I jumped on board with Tricia because I love to challenge myself. I love working with Tricia, and I also wanted to just, build my credibility and show the world what I can do. So why not?
I loved that about Jamie, because once I applied for the license, which is a whole process in and of itself, she emailed and said, what can I do to help? And I really didn't have an answer. I had no idea, because this whole thing was so big and so new. And when she came on board to co-produce, it was just such an organic marriage of strengths. And the other reason that I wanted to produce a TEDx event is I know how to put on a show. I love putting on a show. I know how to do it. And I had been meeting so many incredible speakers with so many incredible messages that I needed a place to put them. So I thought the most obvious would be to become an organizer so I could put speakers on my stage. And also the bigger picture is making a difference in the world. And this is an opportunity for us to do that.
Yeah, and I love to shine the spotlight on other people. So this literally shines the spotlight on people and their ideas. So it's a perfect fit.
Right. So I'm going to ask you a question, but I think I know the answer because I've seen the two of you together last year. And I know that the two of you make a great team. It's very organic. It's very creative. It's different than, I've seen other women having relationships. It's a wonderful, great partnership. What makes you a great team? What's the secret?
I would say true support, true collaboration, acceptance and trust of the other person's talents. It's really about how I can support her in the event.
We have zero ego. Jamie and I support one another's strengths and step up with one another's weaknesses. So we stay in our own lanes and we know what we're good at. And because we trust and respect each other so completely, we don't even have to discuss it. It's just given. And I think that's the thing, is our egos don't play a part in this at all. It is about the event, it is about the speakers, and it is about the audience. And we are here to make that our number one priority.
Right.
What I really like about what the two of you are saying is that it's bigger than the two of you, but it makes the two of you to make it work. I think that this whole concept, this event, is so much bigger, it's so compelling. But when you have two very smart, creative, talented women who know what they're really good at, and then you just bring it together as a partnership, I've seen it, and I saw it last year within the two of you. You were dynamic. So I know you make a great team, but I just wanted everybody to hear, what is your secret? So if you think about it, this year, what did you do differently to produce this show?
Well, this may sound a little boring, but it gives you so much freedom to set up systems. Everything is very organized, whether it's Dropbox or who's doing what jobs or, the schedule that we're going to follow. Everything is set up front, so it's not like chaos. Nothing gets dropped through the cracks.
That's absolutely true. Another thing that was different for this year was because we had more time and we knew what we were doing, we accepted applications much earlier. And it gave us an opportunity to really take our time with the applications. Last year, I received the license in November, and we booked the show for March.
Wow.
So that was a little crazy. We pulled it off, but it was nice to have an entire year to actually prepare this time. The other thing that we did differently was how we rejected people. It's a very intimate experience to apply for a TEDx application to apply to be a speaker, because you share your intimate personal ideas with two total strangers. And we talked about how to respond to those we were choosing and how to respond to those that we weren't. So this year what we did was I sent voice memos, personal voice memos, to every speaker that we did not choose, because I wanted them to understand that they really did a good job, but it was important for them to hear my voice and not just read an email.
Wow. So I know this for a fact because I attended last year. I didn't know that you got it in November and that you put on a show that quickly. Wow. Okay, if I thought you guys were talented before, you just blew my mind. Unbelievable. It was so organized. It was so on point. And every single speaker was different. And it was like having a new experience with every speaker. It wasn't like a TED Talk where everybody does the same, but it went from music to crumping to feeling to seeing to experiencing. It was magnificent. So I cannot wait to see what you guys do this year. So now that TEDx Lincoln Square is your baby, what's your favorite thing about it?
Well, I love the New York City entertainment combination because it's just so fabulous. It was a standing ovation last year because we ended with Joe Ricci and Nick Hamilton with all the speakers behind them as they're singing Change is Gonna Come, and the whole audience stands on their feet. It was just so emotional. You can't beat it. It's a great feeling.
Wow.
I think for me, the most fun is to be able to merge and blend entertainment and theater with the academia of the TEDx platform. Being able to have people share important ideas with an audience that really wants to be moved and to learn while still being entertained is something that I just love.
It's just like New York City, right? You have a little bit of everything. So it's fantastic. So what's the one thing you would say to people aspiring to the TEDx stage?
I think it's really important to be clear on what your idea is and never pitch your business. That's something that people get confused by. If you're an entrepreneur, you have a passion for what you do, and that's totally natural and awesome. But you started the business because of a very intimate idea, and that's what I want you to tap into. So if I can give advice to any aspiring TEDx speakers, tap into the idea, let go of everything after that. And then you will get really clear on what it is you're trying to share with the world.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Do you want to add anything?
Well, I would just say, as build on what Tricia said earlier about sending an email, asking for help if you need it, is to connect with us on social media. Get to know us as people. Find out about the event. Watch last year's video replays, because all 10 of our speakers' videos got picked up by the TEDx YouTube channel, which is probably unprecedented because we have such high-level video, sound, and lighting. And of course, the speakers were ready to take the stage. So you just do your homework and understand what the theme is, of course, because if you pitch an idea that doesn't fit in the theme, that's the end, right?
Yeah, and if you do your research and you know anything about me and what I like people who take risks. I had an incredible speaker apply with an air guitar. It blew my mind. I was so excited. She's going to apply again next year because her level of speaking is not at the rest that I needed. But she was so exciting to me because she was outside of the box. So get to know who we are and risk take every time.
I love it. I love it. You guys are so dynamic. I feel the energy. And so let me ask you this question. Why would speakers apply to TEDx Lincoln Square over another TEDx?
Well, my answer is that we are there with you throughout the whole journey. It's really a community. Everything I do is about building community. So I want all the speakers to know each other. I want the audience to feel like they know each other and the speakers ahead of time. We are here to just guide you through the entire process. And then it doesn't just end that day either. we help you build your credibility and leverage the talk afterwards. You're just part of our family, right?
Absolutely. Something we're offering this year as well is every speaker is going to be featured on a live radio show, Follow Me Fridays with Priya and Joan on Talk Radio New York City. They're also all going to be featured on the Big Talk podcast with me. And I know how to put on shows, and I produce theater. So when you choose to speak on a TEDx Lincoln Square stage, you can be confident in knowing you will have a schedule, you will be teched, you will have enough time to tech, you will be lit properly, you will have the perfect sound, you will have a stage manager, you will have a green room that is silent so you can prepare. I take everything into consideration because when I work with actors, they need to feel safe so that they can perform. It's the same thing with my speakers. I provide a space that is safe, community-driven, and highly professional. That's why you want to do TEDx Lincoln Square.
Right, because being a TEDx speaker is a credibility builder, but it's even more of a credibility builder if you do it at an event that is highly respected. All of our speakers are high level, as you know, Lolly. And it just helps you build your visibility, build your connections, build your credibility. Your platform is just that much stronger. You're most likely going to be picked up on the TEDx YouTube channel based on our history and based on the high level of tech that we provide. Two other things that our speakers are going to get this year. Jeannie Ream of Fashion Genie is offering a free interview online where she'll help you with an outfit. So if you have an idea for an outfit, she'll help you make it even better. If you don't know what to wear, she'll style you, all free. I'm also going to be working with each speaker and helping them figure out how to improve their online credibility and then how to leverage their talk afterwards to build their platform even more.
Could you build on that a little bit more and tell me, how does a TEDx add credibility and how does it give a visibility to a person? Because that's, I'm sure, very interesting for everybody.
Right. Yeah, it's not just about the event that day because there's only so many people in the room, but it's if that video gets picked up on YouTube by the TEDx community, you have the potential for millions to see you, and it's there for longevity. It continues on. We push it out on our social media as well as you can push it out on yours. That video is just so powerful. We have 2 camera operators that create the video, right, Tricia?
Yeah, we have a live stream, which is a switcher, so they will be live streaming, and we have a camera operator who is an excellent videographer. He's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, having a TEDx is like having a well-known best-selling book, like The Leadership Gap, perhaps. It's a platform where then you can launch whatever it is you're selling to your clients. It's just a way to get your story out there, way to get your message out there, way to be seen as a leader, an expert, a thought leader.
Now, the thing is, I've seen, you can't say this about yourself, but I've seen Jamie and Tricia work. I've seen what you can produce, and it's utterly incredible. The reason I got to know you was because I heard about your TEDx talk living in New York City, and I was like, I have to meet these 2 women, and I want to write about these 2 women, and I want to spread the message about these 2 women. I didn't even know you, but I fell in love with you guys about what I read about you. And, you know, full transparency, I wrote about you last year in Inc., and it got a lot of visibility, and I'm very honored to be speaking this year at the event. The thing what I like most about is the 2 of you. The way that most leaders, I teach leadership, right? I work with leaders around the world. And the 2 of you are true leaders. Why? Because leadership is about how you serve others. And everything that you said here today is about your speakers and how you make them feel and how you light them and how you teach them and how you connect with them and how you give them visibility. I think the 2 of you, and I said it again, I don't mind saying it one more time, the 2 of you are dynamic and incredible women. If we're looking for role models, if we're looking for sponsors when it comes to dynamic women, Jamie and Tricia are the 2 that I want everybody to know about. But I want to ask you something off the record, even though everybody's going to be listening to this. If you were to give your own TED Talk, what would you talk about in Looking Beyond?
Well, I'll let Tricia answer first.
This is such a great question. I would love to talk about what it means to look beyond your single self when you decide to go into a contract with a spouse. I believe that we have to understand what it means to mourn the loss of your single self when you get married. And this comes from personal experience. I got married. I am happily married. My husband's amazing. We've been together 8 years. But when I got married, I did not know who I was. And if we don't look beyond what it means to be single versus what it means to be in a partnership, we can lose ourselves. So I would do a talk about what it means to look beyond being married, being single, but just being me.
Wow, very powerful, very powerful.
That's
Okay,
excellent.
so Jamie, you're a processor, right? You remind me you need a few minutes to think before you speak. So now that you've had a few minutes, what would be your looking beyond?
I would look beyond my past, because when I grew up, I had a very dysfunctional house. Plates flying, ribs breaking, not mine, my mother's, holes in the wall, like it was crazy. I could like visualize myself between my parents as they're hitting each other when I was a little kid. So I was very silent as a kid. So what I do now is all about giving people a voice, because I didn't have one. And so it wouldn't be about what I do for work, but it'd be about how you can look beyond your past and create something amazing in the future.
Wow, that is so powerful. I always tell my clients, we teach what we need to learn. And so I think that's very powerful. Both of you would have amazing, looking beyond talks. We would light you. We would give you a green room where you can practice. We would make sure that everything is perfect. So would you like to, we're coming at the end of our time. Is there anything that you would like to leave us with, or the last thought? Something, I mean, I could go on and talk about you for the next couple of minutes, how fantastic you guys are. And I hope you're blushing, but I mean every word that I'm saying. I come upon people all the time. That's my business. But the two of you are so dynamic, and truly what you say you do, that's what you do. And you're so genuine and so authentic that anybody that's listening to this, I want them to come to TEDx, only to meet you and to see how dynamic the two of you are. So, last words.
Very grateful for you, Lolly. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I just want people to take a look at TEDxLincolnSquare's website. If you're a potential speaker, get on the mailing list so you find out about speaking applications, which will open September 2018. And if you'd like to be in our audience this year, sooner rather than later, because we're half sold out already.
Wow. Wow.
And if you want to contribute a blog to the website, we are accepting applications for the blog, and you can email me at tricia@thebigtalknyc.com.
Fantastic. Two dynamic women that everybody needs to get to know. And so with that, I say thank you for this time. Thank you for being of service to us. And I'm filled with gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Lolly. Thank you, Jamie.
Bye, guys.